More from your execution management system. Bloomberg Trade EMS.
Equity indices built on opinions? That's the old way. The new way is Bloomberg Equity Indices, built using transparent, rules-based methodologies that are more responsive to changes in the markets, powered by 450 billion daily data points, and backed by research from hundreds of global experts, delivering benchmarks driven by the markets, not opinions. Bloomberg Equity Indices. Get evolved benchmarks for today's equity markets.
Good afternoon.
5 weekdays.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute global news whenever and wherever it happens. I'm Joanna Bersetchi in El Ola, Saudi Arabia, and this is Bloomberg.
Now to high interest, to look at what's making headlines around the world. Some New York City brides are choosing bing bongs over wedding bells as the Knicks NBA Finals run collides with weekend nuptials. Couples who booked venues years ago are adding big screen TVs, score updates, and team decor
as you can see,
to keep their guests from watching the game on their phones. Some receptions are becoming full-fledged
Happy
Knicks
Friday.
parties as the team
You can
chases
see
its
the
first
old
title
contract
since the
is
year 1970.
starting to get a little competition from the new one.
Has unseated BlackRock as the largest U.S. ETF issuer for the first time in over
126,000 in the new one.
Manages about $4.39 trillion in ETF assets,
294 in the old. I'll do the rollover this weekend.
Year, and surging demand for VOO, its low-cost
S&P
500
up
fund,
and going
which
on
recently topped
levels.
$1 trillion in assets. And Goldman Sachs President John Waldron says a record-breaking
I had the
SpaceX
Bloomberg
IPO
stream on. I haven't watched Bloomberg in.
He spoke exclusively to Bloomberg TV's Francine Lacqua earlier today.
It's a $75 billion IPO, the largest in history. I think it
and I threw the stream on.
The beginning of a pretty sizable wave of IPO.
Sorry. Curious. I want to see how this IPO opens today. The old SpaceX. Hey, and there's the first SpaceX question. What can we expect the IPO to impact on ES and NQ today? I have no frickin' clue. One thing I will do with you guys is I won't lie to you. Okay? I'll make fun of you. I will I'll torture you, but I won't lie to you. Okay? This is the biggest IPO the world has ever seen. Okay? So, everyone's focused on it. Old Muskosaurus is going to be a trillionaire, right? How it's going to affect futures, I have no clue. Now, in the old days, you'd go, oh, you know what? Well, it would rob order flow and blah, blah, blah. But we're in the middle of contract rollover. That business needs to get done. The people who have money to trade SpaceX and this as well. You know, the lockup is, it's not. There is a lockup in these shares. We'll see how it, if it gaps and moves. The thing is, on a brand new company, Muskosaurus, that's what I call him, yeah. On a brand new deal, folks, we have no idea how it's going to trade. IPO day, I'd be loving to run the syndicate on this thing, right? Got to make sure the guys don't, the institutions don't bail out of it. I'm sure it's probably impossible to short. It's going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch it, right? So we're going to run, what do I have here? I'm going to run a chart and time in sales and see when it lights up. SPCX, Sam Paul Charlie X-ray. It'll be interesting. Yeah, that's it, Tim. Alrighty. Back to the boring ES. Yeah, trading starts at 10 o'clock. Let's see if Goldman can get it underway at 10. Some people are saying because, it's what, 4 times oversubscribed. It's going to be tough establishing an opening price and all that. We'll see. With AI now, the thing should open on time. I think no gap, Raj. We have overnight inventory, which is long. I was telling people to look for 74.54. We got up to 74.51. So I was about 3 points shy on my target. But we did get that rotation, another beautiful look below and fail of 73.91 quarter, all the way up. If we climb over 74.60, we'll be looking for that high, the high around 74.90 from a couple of days ago, and 75.11 and a half. Let's go take a look. Overnight inventory has, in fact, adjusted. It was nice and long. It has already corrected down. So now let's see if we open on a gap or not. Okay, that's the big thing. To gap or not to gap? That is the question. Overnight point of controls up here. We didn't spend enough time to move that point of control over yesterday's high. So there was good buying, but there wasn't enough to move enough. How do we say this in a not nice way? We couldn't convince enough suckers to buy it over 74.22. Hey Kevin, what's up, Bo Hunter? Does the distribution profile work when the stock is trending? Yes, it does. You can run a volume profile, right? If you don't have market profile, you can run volume profile on your, like for example, here was a trend down, right? So you can go and draw volume profile from the top all the way to the bottom. By the way, the zones are working pretty nice, right? I mean, what was our high? Our high was 51 quarter. It's not bad. It's not bad. When I drew the zone for a look above and fail of 47 all the way down to 18. And then look at that. We just hit the bottom of our balance and bounced. So that's nice. Because I did those zones really quick this morning. So you can see the distribution profile on the way down, on the way up. Yeah. Generally, if you don't have volume profile, here's a way to cheat. Okay. When a market goes sideways like this, see this here? When it goes sideways for a period of time, there'll be a big chunk of volume. Then they'll go sell that volume, put it on sale, sell it, put it on sale, sell it, put it on sale. And here's the deep discount. So if you're looking at this chart here, right, a sort of easy way to look at this is inventory was acquired here. Here we went and sold it, right, at the expensive store. The expensive store sold as much as they can, and then they started to mark it down, mark it down, mark it down, mark it down, right? Past this cost basis, right? The original overnight cost basis is down here under 12. So they just kept selling it, selling it. The bottom here, this is like TK Maxx, right? This is like Saks Fifth Avenue, if it's still around. I don't know. I haven't been to New York in a while. This is TK Maxx. Brought in buyers, raised price. Pretty simple. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be before it's added to the S&P. Probably pretty quick, right? Some people, what did you guys say? 12 days? Oh, a year. Okay. So I've got the SpaceX time and sales here. When it prints, I'll let you guys know. Okay. Hey, Lear, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. All right, I suppose we have to get to work, huh? Hmm. So I would let the old market open up and see if we have a gap or not. We had a massive, massive short squeeze yesterday. Once again, the war is over, the war is not over. We don't know. The thing is, just trade the chart because we have corrected inventory already, right? Hey, 2010, welcome. How do we trade when we get near the low of the balance, but it immediately went up? Oh, you got to be quick. How do we trade it? You trade it fast, brother. Sorry, or sister. I'm not sure. And don't worry, we'll show you how to trade it. Okay? That's a quick trade. How you trade it when it gets we're in Schrodinger's. Trust somebody to bring up Schrodinger in a trading room. Where's Dougie? He'll appreciate that one. How do you trade this, right? Here's the trick. The only way you can trade this quick enough is to prepare for it here and here. You're preparing for the trade long before it happens. That's how you trade it quick. And don't worry, we'll show you how to do that. Welcome to the room. Good to have you. What's going on, peanut butter and jam? How you doing? If it opens on a gap, it means it opens over 74.20, and there's the gap, and the gap fills immediately. Wow, moving kind of quick. Let it open. Let that first candle open up, okay? You don't have to trade the very first second of a market. You're not a human algo. Okay? You see a big candle like this, don't go, oh, I missed it. You didn't miss it. You didn't have the skill or the knowledge to take the trade. Just relax. Okay, here we go. Let it bop around for a bit. We still have 30 seconds before the first candle even completes. Right? Let's see who comes in. Let's see where the order flow is. Nice and easy. Wait for the trade at your edge. It's not only the skill, TBD, you have to have the skill in the data feed to be able to hit that 74.23 bid and put the stop in fast enough. You don't have that speed, right? You don't have that kind of speed. But the good thing is that big candle sets us up for some nice trades. Now, I'm looking for a look below and fail of 74.04 or 73.96. Now, why am I doing that? I'm not. I'm looking for a bounce somewhere, but not in the middle. I want a bounce trade, but I want the trade to be from an edge. We've identified now that there is a seller at 14. Okay? There they are. So I want that seller now to move down in 4 seconds and show me that they have to sell under 11 and a quarter. Right? If it's choppy, they'll pop. If it's not choppy, they'll see there it's choppy. So now you know it's choppy. There's no clear direction. You're in the middle of the green zone. Just relax. Let the large traders reach for their wallets and work this area out. Don't get sucked in by the movement of the candle. In order to have a really good piece of information, let the candle close. Then you'll have a top and a bottom of the candle, and that's all that really matters. The top of the candle is where the sellers step in and start selling. The bottom is where they stop. Next candle opens. Let's see if it can get above that white line in VWAP, which means the sellers have seen buyers, right? You are at the cost basis of the overnight. So let the market work itself out there. And VWAP is there too, right? Here we go. We're looking for a look below and fail of 4. There's the look below. Now, I always would jump in and buy it here. I'd buy 5 or 6. And then I would get stopped out. Like right here. So I've learned to wait. Now let's see what happens when the next candle opens. Because when the next candle opens, it'll tell us if it can get above 4. If it's not going to go above 4, then I'm looking for the look below and fail of 96 3/4. And here it comes, right? Now wait. Boom, there's the next candle, 96 3/4. It tagged it, right? And it kept selling. Does it hold? Right? If you are buying it here, right? If you're trying to buy it here, wait till it clears 97. There you go. There you go, right? So you buy it, right? I'm long 98 and I am selling 74.02. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Okay? I bought 98. As soon as I saw the offer moving up, I said, wait for this candle. There's the look below. There's the fail. You buy 98. You sell 74.02 on 6 E-minis. Thank you. In and out. Bye. Does everybody understand why I took that trade and how I set it up? I don't try, Herbie, to bias myself. So when I look at a chart, if it's a level from 2020, I really all I care about is how the level reacts at the time. I don't say it's a strong level, it's a weak level, right? I have to see what it's like when you hit it with some other fuel. Now, we're looking for VWAP, and that white line near 13 and change, that's where the sellers are, right? See, I bought 98, I sold to it, I made 4 points on 6 contracts. The trade took me less than 2 minutes, and I'm done, right? I'm done. I waited for that trade, and I stocked that trade, right? Very simple, right? Very simple. Is it easy? Dear God, it's not easy. The only reason that it was easy for me and it wasn't easy for me is I've screwed that trade up so many times. And I've questioned myself so many times. And I thought, that trade, until you figure it out, and the way I teach it, all the experience and heartbreak I had screwing up that trade, I'm trying to help you guys, you know, shorten the learning cycle. Okay? That's why I say wait for the candle, and you have to prepare yourself for that trade. So when it comes, you're not like, oh crap, I missed it, right? I was ready for that trade. I was preparing for it when the market was trading at 74.11. I saw that there was a seller under VWAP. Did I short? No. I sat and I waited. And I looked for the look below and fail of 4. And as soon as 4 did not happen, I just completely relaxed and I waited for 96 and 3/4. Did I buy exactly 96 and 3/4? No, I ended up buying 98 and selling 74.02, right? It's still 4 points, right? And there you go. Do you guys understand how you put that together? You're waiting for that trade to hit that level. So you're not trying to front run it, right? You're waiting for that, and then you've watched this replay. Go back and watch this and replay this. Go and watch this and replay it, right? And where's our new guy? Where'd he go? 2010. Are you still there? That's how you trade it fast. Right? That's how you trade it fast. The only way you're going to be able to trade that quickly is to practice. When I first started doing this, there's no way I could take that trade. No way in hell. Right? It's just, I'm not going to lie to you. I screwed that up so many times. I didn't even know what it was, and I was trying to figure it out and screwing it up. Right? So you work on it on the simulator so you get to know the software. Then you use micros, right? You practice your execution. You got to practice your execution like shooting or another skill that, takes repetition. Learning how to play the piano, right? You got to practice. So we got a seller at 11.25. They stopped selling at 4, right? So we're just kind of bopping around, waiting, right? What's the volume like? Probably a little light now, right? We were looking for a buying trade because price were above the balance down. Well, I was looking for this is the kind of business that I do, okay? What it is, my friend, is I do business when it looks at this edge. This is where I get the best discount, right? I like to be a buyer, and I like to be a buyer at a good discount. Does that make sense? Like, say these were, I don't know how old you are. If say these are like a pair of Alden or Johnson and Murphy double wingtip brogues, and they're usually $600 a pair. And then you get them on sale at Nordstrom Rack for 99. That's where I want to buy them. Does that make sense? This is where you get the best discount. There it is again. You see? See, now these candles are a little big, my friends. So you should be careful. Okay? That's a big ass candle. It's a thin order book. Let me go take a look at the order book. Oh, Jesus, the order book's really thin. It's like ones and twos. It looks like NASDAQ. What the hell's going on? Must be some news, right? Do you click on the DOM? I do. I do not use bracket orders, George. I'm a fast trader. right? I'm a fast trader because I have to be fast. My life depends on it. My livelihood depends on me being fast. I do not use bracket orders. I don't use any automation, right? I'm fast because I've practiced that trade thousands of times. And I've done probably over 1 million trades in my life, easily. And in my business, a slow trader was fired. So you have to be fast, right? So a lot of people will be like, I can't trade that fast. To which I say, bull crap. You can, because if I can teach myself to do it, so can you. Right? There is nothing special about me. It's just repetition, repetition, concentration. There's the look below and fail again. Now, I'm not trusting it. I see a seller. I see a seller at 85, 6, 7. Give it some time. If you're taking that trade again, you're doing the look below and fail of 82 and a quarter. Maybe they need to let them sell it a little bit more. Here it comes. Here it comes. Step away, step away, step away. Right? We're stepping away. It's not as reactive, right? Let them beat the crap out of it and go tag that overnight low. Come on now, right? Let's see if we can take out the overnight low. There'll be a little front running before the overnight low, okay? And then the previous day low is all the way. Where the hell is the previous day low, right? I am quick, George, because if I wasn't quick, I would have not had a very good career as a trader. Because in my business, if you're trying to sell 1 million shares and somebody shows me a bid for 1 million shares and I miss that bid, and even if that stock's 50 cents or even if it's only $1, my client, you're out $1 million. $1 million that you don't get back because your trader was an idiot and he missed the trade, right? There is no second place in this business, right? There's no second place. So you had to be quick, right? Why are my quotes frozen? What the hell's going on? What's going on here? Frickin'. Is anybody else frozen? My ES is frozen. That's really weird. Now it's back. What the hell? See, and this is what I'm talking about. We do not, you see our data feed, right? When I saw that big candle, it told me to stay away, right? When that, when that broke, right? That told me to stay away, and a good thing, right? Otherwise, you get frozen out. And I have two data feeds. They both froze, right? So just wait, right? Now that it's frozen, I'm not gonna trade. I did that one trade at work, and now I just chill, right? The problem is today's going to be a busy trading day, okay? Right? It's going to be a busy trading day, right? The systems are going to be taxed. So you want to know how the IPO is going to affect things? It's going to tax the electronic systems, right? I don't have a router jam. I got, it's fiber, so there's no router. It's got some sort of access point. I suppose I could reboot that, but all right, we're coming down into the 7360s, right? If you're looking for a trade, you'd do the look below and fail of 7353, and that's how you maintain discipline, okay? You have to maintain discipline. If you don't maintain discipline on a day like this, you get into a trade, your system freezes, And next thing you know, you're crying like some kid who dropped their ice cream cone, right? Right? When you see big candles like that, right? 74.08 all the way down to 73.82, right? Just chill out. You don't have to trade this, okay? If your data's going to freeze, right? Don't don't go, "Oh, it was acting weird, but I traded anyway." "Oh, I blew up my account." Wah, right? Look below and fail of the overnight low, right? The market has just taken a big dive here, right? You know that there's going to be sellers everywhere on the ladder up, right? Boom, 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 boom. There's going to be sellers. If you're looking for a responsive long, that's where your sellers are going to be, right? It's already got some short covering underneath the overnight low coming in here, right? There's a seller at 80. Pretty simple, my friends, right? What day is it today? It's Friday, right? How would you like to keep the money you made this week? Is that something that you would be interested in? Would you be interested in keeping the money you made this week, or do you feel like throwing it out the window? Right? Yeah, that's why you wait for it. You wait at the edge. 2010. You wait for the edge where you get the best deal, right? This is for suckers. Suckers diddle in the middle. Wait for the edge. If the price starts freezing, if this thing starts jumping up and down, be careful, right? Because the systems are going to be taxed, right? If you put, like, say if SpaceX today, say it trades like 6 million trades, right?
My wife
It's going
said
to
no
tax
gym equipment
the
in the
systems. So just be aware of that. So you're not just throwing your money out the window. I mean, if you want to throw your money away, we're taking donations for the JJ Gorilla Party Fund. If you feel like just throwing money away. A little bit of chop here. Market's waiting for the next type of business, right? What's the next order of business, I should say, right? Yeah, wait for the POC to catch up. Don't worry, 2010. Is it Himalaya? Yeah, don't worry, we will get you on the right track, okay? You're in the right place now. You won't be losing money all the time anymore with us, right? Don't worry, my friend. We'll teach you how to be a greedy bastard, okay? Don't worry, we got you. There's a lot of times in this market where you shouldn't be doing business. And a lot of people unfortunately don't know that because they don't teach it to them. All righty, what's next here? Well, let's see if we can actually get back into the overnight range. Right now, it's not looking like it, right? You can see the sellers moving down. You guys see that? Seller was here, then they moved down here. Now they're selling the 75s, you see? We'll teach you one. One of the number one steps in learning how to be a greedy bastard is learning how to be sneaky. Okay? Do you like professional thieves? Do they, and those kind of people, do they come running out going, I'm going to rob a bank? No, they do it quiet, right? They got to be sneaky, right? When you're stealing money out of the market, you got to be sneaky, my friends. Be sneaky, right? Right. I am not convinced. Let's see what the order flow's like here, right? So if you are doing a look below and fail of the overnight low, your stop is 75, right? I would rather wait until if I want a long, if we can pick up position here, let the large traders pick up position. If it clears 86, 87, then I'll take a long to 94. That's my plan, right? There's the seller at 82 quarter. You see him? They just popped out and said hi, right? There you go, right? Hello, seller. Okay. Now wait till the offer lifts. Still the seller's there at 82, right? Still there. Order book starting to get a little better, but it's still thin, okay? Order book is thin, 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 thin. And back down. Look for a test of the overnight low at 73.75. Right? It broke. Does it look below and come back up again? Sometimes you just got to let the market trade and do business, especially in these kind of conditions. You know, it's a very strange business right now. We have wartime conditions, and yet we are floating the largest IPO in the history of the world in the middle of a large conflict. So there's a lot of information that is, conflicting. And if you trade the news or try and trade the news, you're going to get really messed up. So you want to trade the chart, and the chart is showing you the business transactions. And then what you want to do is you want to use that chart to tell you when to position yourself. Here is not a time you should be positioning yourself because the traders who bought product here are already selling it here. You see? So you want them to finish their business under 82 before you buy it and you're looking for that long. You have to be very specific on where you're going to do business. As our friend R. Croy says, you have to be very picky about where you want to do business on the chart. Because if you're not, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well, right? Especially in this market, you got to be picky. You have to be insanely picky. There's that 82 and a quarter seller again, right? 82 and a quarter seller. They're still selling. They sold 3 times there. They got size. So there's competition. There's sellers who have size are competing at 82. Now let's see where they stop selling. And if we can go sideways, there we go. There we go. We're looking for bids over 84. Wait for it. So if you are trading now, if you can bid 84, 85, wait for the next candle, wait for the next candle to go long. I know you're going to feel like you're paying too much. You're going to feel like you're paying too much. There's also a standard deviation at 87. So make sure if you've got contracts, sell them, sell them, sell them. Here you go. You're long 84, selling 88 or 87. Watch that offer. There we go. Sell them here, sell them here. 2, 3 points, that's all you need, right? That's all you need. Okay? If enough people are short under 82, they're going to come for it now. Right? Oh, there's a seller right there. There's that standard. There we go. They're coming for it. I told you they're coming for it. So as they come for it, give it to them. You're long at 84, 85. Let them have it at 89. Sell them like you stole them. And that's it. You're short. You're flat. Do you understand how I put that trade together and waited? So larger traders who can afford the business expense can start positioning themselves here with this as an out. This is where the wholesale builds a position. Let me break the chart down, okay? Don't worry about wicks and all this stuff. Let me just break the chart down as a professional. This is where the short sellers come in and cover. This is where wholesale builds a position. This is where the larger traders position themselves. And then we just buy this little thing, and they have all of this to sell that they're going to push price up by cutting supply. Right? 83 to 88, beautiful. Beautiful. Right? Nice. Simple. Is it easy? No. It's not easy, but it's simple. Right? So while other people are throwing out words like bullish, bearish, raccoonish, talking about tweets and news and everything, you're actually making money because you're focusing on a type of business that you have learned how to do. Does that make sense? Right? So you're not worried about options, you're not worried about gamma, you're not looking at 20 or 30 things that make absolutely no, right? Here you've gone and made $2,000 while everybody else is talking out the side of their, right? This is how you do business and you're done, right? You can sit and talk and everything and just go nuts and not make any money. If you practice the type of trading I tell you to do, you'll make a living. And while everybody else is talking about, oh, it's too choppy, oh, this is going on, oh, that's going on, is it bullish, is it bearish, right? While all of that's going on, you've made your money and you're done and you're off living your life. You guys get it? You know, practice that one trade. You can take that trade and go from making $50 a day to like 1,500 or $2,000 a day. You can do $5,000 a day on that trade with a little bit of size. $5,000 a day is $100,000 a month, right? And once you get really, once you've got some real dough, you can swing trade that trade because the mechanics of the trade, the business of the trade do not change. Just the time frame and the size change. It's a sales chart. This chart is telling us how sales are going minute by minute. So you learn on that, then you expand out. So when you can do things like the look below and fail of 73.91, right? When you do that trade, you can make 100, 200 grand in a day. Okay? So people say the method that you teach, it's not a method. I teach you how to make money in a business. It's not a method. It's just what business people do, right? People who come in and work on trade desks, one guy's not working Fibonacci's, one guy's not working moving averages. That's not how it works. We all trade inventory, order flow. That's what everybody does. Order flow is just a fancy way of saying customers, right? So you'll hear all these people talking all sorts of nonsense, right? Simple common sense. It works. Now what's it going to do? I have no idea. That's the big short covering candle I told you. When the people who are short under 82 realize that they are, they'll all race to cover, and that's where we'll hit them here. So the traders who are long product here are selling it here before VWAP. Once you understand how a market works and the mechanics of how a market works, it's going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make your life a lot easier because you're not going to be trading at the wrong time. You're not going to be trading in a manic state. There'll be a business reason why you take every trade. Very simple. Yeah. Very simple. All righty. And that's what we do at Trading Syndicate, and that's what I do in my mentoring. Good stuff, Jerry. Well done. Right. Okay, up to VWAP. I can tell my data's a little spooky. Right? This thing's not it's not flowing as smooth as it usually does. So I can already tell it's Friday. It's Friday and the systems are being taxed already. They're probably draining all the I don't know how they dedicate bandwidth to all this stuff. But if you look at the ES order book, let's see all you DOM traders out there. Let's see how smart you are. Okay? All of you guys who say, "Oh, I trade on the DOM," all right? I've got an expensive DOM. I know who's pulling and stacking and muling and blah, right? Let's see how smart you are. I want you to take a look at the DOM and in 10 seconds tell me the business conditions that exist right now. I'll wait. You should know by looking at the DOM in 10 seconds what business is like. If you're such a DOM expert, right? What I'm trying to make a point, ladies and gentlemen, it's thin on both sides. It's starting to get a little bit more thicker now, but it's way up. So there's like, where we are now, maybe 4 points higher, there's 100 contracts for sale, right? But it's 10s and 20s all the way up. The order book is very thin, right? The order book is thin. So what is that telling you? That's telling you people who have money, smart people, are not putting a lot of money at risk today. Make sense? You guys in my room, do you understand what I'm saying? Right? I'm telling you guys this, so let me know if you don't understand. Because if you don't understand, then I need to explain it in a different way. Right? You better, Elsie. You better, Elsie. Otherwise, the people in Rye will be very disappointed that you're not printing. Right? and you'll have to be subject to PE guy. Okay. When an order book is thin, you can move a market with very little volume. Very little volume, right? If you knock that out, look at how much volume B period is. I mean, there's no volume to move the thing up. Look at how thin it was here. It opened here and look, 60s, 50s, 30s. It took nothing to move it up, right? NQ style. Look how thin it is. Thin. Oh my God, look at it. That's why you don't want to be screwing around on a day like this, okay? People are switching to a new contract. That's a good thing. Also, today with this big IPO, people are distracted, right? Everyone's distracted. When people are distracted, they make mistakes. So professional traders, what they do is they try and just like chill out. You know, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to chill out and they're not at risk, right? They are not at risk, right? See, it's Friday. The last thing you want to do is lose all the money you made this week, right? What was the point of going to work if you blow up your account today? But in business people don't blow up their accounts. That's not how life in the real world works. In the real world, if you blow up your account, it means that you are bankrupt. And if you have like 200 employees at your firm, guess what? They're all jobless and unemployed. So we can't blow up. We don't have the luxury of that kind of thing, right? You took your weekly gains. Well done. Well done, said. Well done, right? Smart. Right? So yeah, you can't blow up accounts and lose money indiscriminately, right? You're gonna put people out of work. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I told you the order book was thin. Look how much volume it took to go from 10 to 15. Maybe 100, 200 contracts. And now what they're doing is they're selling what they bought down here at 3. They're selling it up here at 15. You can see that the volume's being distributed, right? So you see accumulation, accumulation, distribution, right? All these market profile things are just a more in-depth candle. It's a fancy candle where you can see the inside of it, right? Right? That's good. You take the money out of that account. That's good. Good to see you making money. Okie dokie. What's next here? Stalling out at yesterday's high. Now, how short do you think people got on that move, right? So the IPO will be traded. It's very different than when I was doing them manually. So what they're doing is they're putting expressions of interest in the order book. And I think Goldman Sachs is the lead book runner. So the head trader at Goldman on the syndicate desk will be managing that. The salesman will be talking to their institutional clients, right? So the IPO itself is not going to manipulate markets. It is the responsibility of the book runners to ensure that the company makes as much money as possible. Yeah, well, people blow out of their accounts exactly, Aaron, because they trade too much size, because they don't think trading is a skill, right? They think it's like you went to Vegas, and you hit the blackjack table, right? Every one of my clients, right? They all said that they had this. They wanted to play blackjack when we went to Vegas, And I'm like just shaking my head, and they're like, "I don't worry, I have a system." And every time somebody has a system, I'm like, "What's the system?" And they start explaining it to you, and my eyes just glaze over, right? Yeah, it's okay. This market, and it's all right to blow up money on. I mean, it's not all right to blow up money. It's never all right. It just shows that you have no discipline. But at least you're not blowing up your own account when you're blowing funded trader accounts. And those funded trader people, they make a lot of money off of people's greed and stupidity, right? Don't be a sucker, folks. Now, this is a look above and fail of 18.5. So if you're shorting the 16, 17, right, go put some bids down at 12, 13. See if you can catch a bid. Your stop is going to be 18.5 if you're short here. There you go. You should have bought some at 13. You should have bought some at 12. It's printing 11.5. You're front running VWAP. You're short 16. You're covering the 10s. 1 minute, 6 points. That's better than 5-minute abs, right? 1 minute trades. That's even better than 5-minute abs. You had to do some real work, Dougie? Doug's actually a very well respected research scientist. Now we know what you guys are doing in the labs, right? Okay, now we know. Too funny. Yeah, it's okay, ATL. You made some money this morning, right? So now you know that your discipline's a little lacking, right? So if you're drinking coffee and you miss a trade, it means your discipline's lacking. That's all. So now you know that you have two choices. One is to ratchet up the discipline, or two is to call it a day, right? Real world trading psychology, right? But don't chase anything now, right? Don't give any of that money back, okay? There you go. Keep that money, right? Let's see. They said they're going to open this thing at 10 o'clock. Well, I don't see a print yet, so we shall see. Right. Just put a little thing in here. Yeah. Yeah, I do that in the execution classes, Milo. I do that in the execution classes, and there's a bunch of videos of me doing it as well. If you go look in the video section, right? We'll do one on Wednesday. If you ask anybody in the room, so what I do is I teach people you put in your bid, you put in your stop immediately, right? So say I was trying to buy 73.96 or 97, right? So what I do is I go in and I put my buy order in at 97 or 97.5, and I put my stop here, right? Right away. As soon as that order gets filled, my sell orders get put in immediately. And that's all there is to it. And you practice that 1,000 times. So if I told you Milo, right? If I said Milo, 74.25 bid, 23 stop. By the time I'm finished talking, those orders should be in the system. Right? There we go. So as soon as you put your buy order in, you put in your stop. And that should be like breathing or wiping your nose. As soon as your buy order gets filled, throw your sell orders out, which means you have to know where everything is going to go before it happens. And that's where the preparation comes in. And that's where all that boring, doing the same thing 1,000 times, that's where that actually helps you. Yeah, it's a bit of a crapshoot today, LC. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see if we can get accepted above yesterday's high. Right now, they're kind of, we're kind of running out of customers, right? Had a beautiful run from the 82s up to the 18s, right? Nice, beautiful run. Once again, big ranges in this market, right? Big, 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 big ranges. So this is actually a look below and fail of the 73. We should go back right back up to 54 if the order flow supports, of course, right? Order flow has to support it. It's a tough market to. You got to really respect this market, folks. Really respect it. It's very unforgiving. You know, if you get caught in bad trade location and you're trading without a stop, you've got these huge candles on the way up and down. So you really want to limit the number of trades. I'm not telling you not to trade. I know trading, over the years when I've told people not to trade, they go running to Steve. He told us not to trade. What kind of trading room is this? Well, it's one that you don't lose money in if you're not trading and you don't know what you're doing. Right? But I mean, okay, seriously though, right? There are certain times and certain market conditions where you just don't want to go out there, right? Because you're going to get beat up, right? Okie dokie. 10 minutes left. So I don't have level 2 anymore for equities. Let's see if I can. Sierra's got says they have an order book. Let's see what it looks like. I don't think that's accurate. No. don't see it. You're looking for VWAP on the downside here. Man, these are big candles. Oof. Stupid question. There are no stupid questions, Milo. When executing on the DOM, does one stop work for all three? Or no? You put in you put in a number, so like one contract, two contracts. So when you put the order in, it'll automatically put one or two or three, up to six. Depends what software you're using. I'm using Sierra Chart. And you get to keep more too, Chadwick. Which is always nice, you know? What a coincidence. Overnight POC, today's POC at the same place. Any questions, folks? Still, we haven't had a print on SpaceX. We are waiting with bated breath. And speaking of which, the new contract is at 327,000 contracts versus 655 on the old one. I will do the rollover on the weekend, right? And we'll have the new contract raring to go for Monday. I'll be around and I'll be working this weekend. Girlfriend's gone, so I have nothing but time. If you guys are interested in the people in my coaching class, if you want to do a check-in session on Saturday or something like that, let me know. I'll be around for a little bit. I'm going to try and do a weekend update. This market is going to be challenging. If you want to get a head start and improve your trading and you're looking for some one-on-one mentorship, let me know. Yeah, it's always nice to make some money and chill on Friday, right? That's always nice. Man, these guys on Bloomberg, they're going to be eating out on this SpaceX IPO for months, aren't they? Well, you know, I was on the desk when it happened. Invite me out for dinner. I'll tell you all about it. Bids at VWAP. Sorry, I haven't a Zoom together. You know, I haven't done a Saturday Zoom in a long time, Aaron. Nobody's really interested anymore, right? I'll do one-on-ones. I'll do some one-on-ones tomorrow if people are around, right? If you want, just reach out. I'm always the people who I do one-on-one coaching with. They have my phone number, so you know, just give me a message on WhatsApp. You know, some of you one-on-one students I haven't heard from in a long time, which leads me to believe you've been getting into trouble. So you should be checking in. Okay. Okay, my friends. Let's wrap this up. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll throw some SpaceX type posts out. I don't think it's going to open like anytime soon. They're going to take their sweet time opening it. Thanks, everyone. Stay out of trouble. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're trading the IPO, be careful. Don't get emotional. Right? If you're trading IPOs, it's the first day, right? You know, things are going to be a little unreliable on the first day. That's how the world is, right? Have a great weekend. If you need anything, reach out. I will see you first thing on Monday morning. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Bye for now.